that was my fault. Everybody shaking my head. I said, that's what happened when you go to the bathroom before we start the show. I'm going to click the wrong
Uh-huh.
buttons. Okay.
She's like, oh Lord.
I'm like, wait a minute. That don't go there. The other intro. That's the outro. All right, y'all. I'm super sorry about that. That was totally my fault. I paid the outro. It was supposed to be the intro, but welcome to the show.
Hey y'all.
I know it doesn't matter as long as we are here. Welcome,
That's it.
everybody, to another Sister to Sister Connection talk show. We're in season 11, episode 8. So, y'all got 2 more weeks with us before we take our little bit of a short hiatus break. We normally take 2 weeks off in the season, in between seasons. So, if you're watching live, do us a favor, type in hashtag live and also share this out and tag someone on here that you feel that will also love and enjoy this information. So, Therese, you're back, love. You back? I want to make sure so I don't click anything and move anything around. But we have a jam-packed show for you guys on this evening. For
Yeah.
those of you who are new to watching and following us, make sure you subscribe to our channel. If you're watching, any other social platforms, make sure you have your notifications on so that way you know when we are actually live. Okay. So we do this show every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do it in seasons. So we have like we're in season 11 and we do 10 episodes per season, so we're in episode 8. So I want to give you guys sort of that education so you guys know, like, if y'all don't see us for a couple of weeks, like, we didn't fall out. We need a break because we literally pour in, right, Twonta? We pour in to each and every one of you guys. And I know every time I'm done with the show, I'm like, I'm ready to go to bed. I'm tired. My cup is empty and I just want to
Yeah.
refuel for the next day. But we also would love to know, especially for those of you who are catching this on the replay, what is one thing that you learned from watching the show? Definitely want to, reach out to you guys and see how this show has benefited you guys, because we do this show for y'all. I mean, 1000%. We do this show for y'all. Okay. So
Yeah.
without further ado, let's dive into today's topic. Okay. What we talk about today, Twonta?
Well, let me first say, girl, I'm digging your lipstick, okay?
Thank you, girl. I found this in the bottom of my makeup case, girl. I was like, I got to put something on my lips.
It's so pretty. I like that
Thank
color
you.
on you. What color is it?
I don't know. It's like a maroon. It's a dark, like a deep dark maroon. Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
it's so pretty on you, and that's just bringing in the pre-fall vibes.
Yes.
But hey, y'all, what's up? I'm so excited that you guys are here. And yeah, so our topic tonight is there's more to me than one chapter. There's more to me than one chapter. What do I mean by that? Well, people, that especially close in your inner circle, especially relatives, those that you probably haven't seen since last year or whatever. They see you based on the last time they saw you, and when they see you, they only can focus on that particular chapter of your life. And it's like they continue on, just run that story down about you, and you're like, okay, yeah, I did that, but there's so much more about me than that little thing, than what I did back then, and this, that, or whatever. And sometimes it's so hard to get people to change their way of thinking about you. They want to just stay stuck in that moment and stuck in that time, or they just are in deep denial to really accept, that you are not that person anymore, right? That's why I said there's so much more about you that person is not giving you credit for. You know what I'm saying? So we're just gonna talk more in depth about that tonight, because I don't know if any of you have experienced that, or if you are
Mhm.
currently dealing with that. There's people that still, you probably, like, maybe some of your former classmates, that you
Right.
haven't seen for over 30 plus years or 20
Right.
some years, and you finally get the chance to, reconnect by doing a class reunion and all those things, and
Right.
reminisce. It's nothing wrong reminiscing and, going back in the day and talking about those things. But if they are still locked in based on what you did when you were 16 and this, that, and here you are 40 some years old. It's like, dude, I'm not that 16-year-old naive kid, or I'm not that troublemaker. I'm not that loudmouth person, blah, blah. I'm so
Right.
more than that, and it kind of leaves it kind of disturbs you, because you kind of wonder, like, dang, people still think I'm that naive.
Yeah.
People still think I'm rough, or people still think I'm a bully, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I said, sometimes it's hard to get people to come to your level
Right.
of who you are in your life, the chapter of your life. People just want to stay stuck in that moment. So yeah, we're going to talk more in depth about that. And again,
Mm-hmm.
this is our open forum where you are welcome to input, you are welcome to share.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know if you are currently dealing with that, or if you know someone who's probably dealing with that. And and just hopefully this will be a great discussion tonight. What do you think, Tish?
Yes, when you first told me about today's discussion, it brought me back. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, like you said, we're so much more than who we were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We may have certain traits. Hey, Karen,
Karen.
but we evolve, and there's times where we may have felt a certain kind of way about a particular subject or about something that has experience we had, but now we think different. And sometimes people from our past or even people from our present would try to push us back into being like in this box. And as women, we're definitely not that way. We're not in a box.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's move on to our first point tonight, ladies. And again, this is an open forum for all of you who are watching us, even those who are watching us replay. You are still welcome to go ahead and put your comments in, if what have you. So the first point is, I'm not who you think I used to be. I am not who you think I used to be. When I was 16, yeah, we used to ride or die. We used to go ahead and break down walls. Hey, Tamika, we used to break down walls, and or we used to do this, we used to do that. When I was 18, yeah, I was a little bit promiscuous and this, that, that. When I was 20, yeah, I had a baby out of wedlock and this, that, or whatever. When I was 25, yeah, I decided to be a little hustler, this, that, da, 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 da. But here it is 20 years later. I see you again. You doing well in your life. I'm not dare holding on to that one chapter of your life, because I know you have elevated since then. But why are you still putting me in prison back in 1992? Or whatever, and it again, you got to let people understand, I am not that same person. It's just the same. It's fair to say, like, when a person gets out of prison, and people will automatically look at that person and their past. It's like their past is plastered all over them, and they've been serving their time for that duration for 10 years, 20 years, or whatever. But as soon as they are free, they served, they did what they were supposed to do. There are still people that will look at that person and say, yeah, you still this, you still that. And they're like, wow, that's all you see me as. And I have, even though I was locked up, but yet I did evolve. I did make some changes. I did elevate. I did learn something. I made some changes. Can't you see that? Or can you give me that opportunity to show that I'm not that same person anymore? Right. So it's the same thing with us, people, us, we're moving on with our lives. We have moved on with our lives, but there are still people around us, family members included, will still look at you and say, yeah, she's still the same girl. Yeah, she's still this, she's still that, this, that, whatever. And you tired of fighting and arguing with people, because it's like, well, what more do I need to prove to you? What more do I need to prove to you, to tell you that I am not who you think I used to be? Yeah, that was my past life. Yeah, I was this, I did that, I said this, I said that, but I'm not that person anymore. If you just give me an opportunity to really share to you how much I'm different, how much I've changed, my mindset is different, then we can have a better conversation. But if you still back in 1992 and I'm here as 2023, I don't see how we can continue on with this relation. It's so uneven. What do you say, Tish?
Sorry, I had to come off mute. You
Yeah.
know, I wrote down, I said, you know, there's people in your life, ladies, that don't want to see you grow. I know
Ooh,
that's hard to believe. I know we don't want that to be our reality, but it's
don't.
true.
Yeah.
Men or women. I mean, there's people in your life that don't want to see you grow. They don't want to see you
Right.
evolve. They don't want to see you excel. If anything,
Yeah.
is intimidating to them. Some of y'all probably working with clients that don't want to see you to grow. They want you to be that same mediocre coach that will spend 2, 3, 4, 5 hours on a Zoom call with them or on the phone with them. But as you evolve, you know, you make changes, you make arrangements to help impact more people, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
people around you that are going to be jealous. You know, they're not going to admit that they are. They're not going to say that they are, but their actions just prove it. You know what I'm saying? There's people
Right.
that's going to be in your no corner. Every time you give them an idea or a concept or a new venture you want to get into, they're the no, 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 no. They're the no-nos. You know what I'm saying? And that is not healthy, particularly to your mental health. Karen said we have to
Right.
make sure we don't allow others to take us back there too. Absolutely. You know,
Amen.
and I love that you say, Karen, that we ourselves have to hold ourselves accountable for that. We
Yeah.
cannot change anybody. We cannot make anybody think how we think or act how we act. We just have to ask ourselves, are we around people who are feeding into us and we're feeding into them, or we're around people who are taking vampires, taking our energy,
Mm-hmm.
taking our time, taking
Mm-hmm.
away our clarity, all these
Mm-hmm.
things, you know. It's a really short life that we live, and as we grow and we look back and we're like, oh my god, like who was in my circle. I think it's so important to want to thank you, Tamika, that we evaluate our circle. Okay. And
Yes.
I'm not trying to say people have to be the same religion as you or people have to be from the same background as you. I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about, are you around more women who inspire you and you
Yes.
inspire them? It's a two-way street. Are you around people that, when's the last time you shared an idea to? And you decide not to because you knew already, oh, she gonna be like, oh girl, that's, you know, what you, maybe
Mm-hmm.
the last time you tried that didn't work,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or now all like you do that, now all of a sudden you doing this. Oh, you
Yeah.
came, you watching this person, so now you're doing this. Like they want
Right.
to say all these things, you know, and it comes from a really deep insecurity in that person. You know what I
Right.
mean? Just
Mm-hmm.
know, ladies, Tamika, Karen, all of y'all on here, you will walk in rooms where women are going to feel a certain kind of way. You're going to have half the room feel like, oh my God, you're this light and I need to just gravitate myself to you because you're just amazing and awesome. Or you're
Mm-hmm.
going to have those people like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and let
Mm-hmm.
me talk about the church too, because I had experience on Sunday. I shared it with Therese. Some of y'all in the church need to calm the heck down. You're actually making members run.
Girl.
Okay, for real. You gotta calm down. If you
Wow.
see people are changing and evolving and doing better, don't bash that. Don't remind them of, well, maybe before you used to do this, or maybe before you was addicted to that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to do that. Always
Yeah.
be godly. But again,
Yeah.
ladies, you're gonna have people who are either in your corner or not in your corner. Really, in this lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
there is no in between. In my life, either you for me or against me. Ain't gonna be no in between. How can you be an in between person and still say you support, you know, what I
Right.
do and you want me to support, you know, what you do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I constantly have to say, you know, I'm not who you think I used to be in the past. I mean, obviously I've grown. Same thing with Toronto. Many of you guys ladies who are on here live, y'all have experienced growth, whether it be small or little,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? But isn't
Mm-hmm.
it the worst when people remind you like, oh, remember girl? Or
Yeah.
remember this? You don't need that.
Right.
And a lot of
Right.
times we took on habits as young women that we learned from our aunts, bad
Mm-hmm.
habits that we learned from our parents. So those
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even part of our own personality or our core of who we are. And as we
Right.
grow as women and we become more mature, become more aware of our behaviors, we make changes to be who we were meant to be. So when
Yeah.
people ask you, will you change? No, I'm who I'm meant to be. This is who I'm meant to be. I didn't
Right.
like
Yeah.
transform into becoming this to that. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
have evolved into who I am. This is me.
Right.
So
Right.
I want you ladies to take
Yeah.
ownership of who you are in the now and the
In
woman
the
that you're going to
now.
be
Yeah.
10 years from now. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I
That
want
is
you guys to
powerful.
do, because let me tell you something. That's the you know, get from around the people that always thinking about 10 years ago or 20 years. Get
Mm-hmm.
from around them, because
Mm-hmm.
that's going to keep you thinking about
Mm-hmm.
the past all the time. And one thing I know we cannot do nothing about is the past.
Nope.
It's done.
It
It's
is so
over. That time is gone.
good.
So for us to go backwards, it's almost
Yeah.
you're living an insane life.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, I have to change. That's they God. Yes, you have to change. But it's
Hmm.
not even changing, it's you stepping into who God meant for you to be.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I feel like evolving is like you're or a caterpillar in an eggshell and you're just
Yes.
breaking out.
Right.
Right? The fetus don't change from the adult. It's the same thing. It's just evolves. It gets it gets taller, it gets wider, it gets all the things. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's my input on that. Yeah, you're gonna
That's
have a lot of jealous
powerful.
people, a lot of people around you that they don't say nothing, but they give you like the eye.
Oh, yeah, they
And
give you
like
that
if you're
eye.
an empath like me, you people's energy bounce off of you, and you're like, wait, girl, you smiling, but you ain't really like
Yeah.
you really
Yeah.
don't like me. You know, you all
Hmm.
like laughing at my jokes, but you really, girl,
Hmm. Hmm.
you
They
know.
look at you based on how you're living. They look at your economic status. They look at your career status, and they just Karen said, I'm not acting funny. It's called maturity. Yes, yes. And you got people who are doing that. They size you up based on where you are currently in your life. And then they will go have the gall to say, yep, I remember when we used to live on South 12th Street over Romeo Plank. And yes, she was doing that too back in the day. I see why she. And again, you don't know the person's story. You don't know the person's challenges. You don't know what that young lady or that person has endured. Now, I really see it more in family. I see it more in relationships. That's why I see it more as opposed to people that don't really know you. And that does happen, but it's more in that inner circle. It's a shame to see how families are still not gelled or connected, because there's still a lot of drama going on. So yeah, it's you still have people that are just looking at you from one side of the book, you know and just like an onion, there's layers of you. There's layers of onions. You are also that person. There's different layers of you, right? So you're not that one person. You're not that one chapter as they leave you as. There's so much about you. So let's move on to our second point. Our second point is, don't end don't end my story when you haven't read my introduction. Okay. See, don't end my story and you don't know nothing about me. You don't even smell success yet. You don't even know what you don't end my story when you don't know nothing. You haven't called, you haven't come by, you haven't wrote a letter, you haven't DM me, you haven't done nothing. But you're gonna go ahead and end my story when you don't have a clue. And there are people who are doing that. That's why we got relationships that are so sporadic. That's why we have, people that are just taking that bone and carrying it and adding all kinds of stuff to that bone, and it's so far from the truth, right? And then you blindsided by this fabrication of lies, right? And then you have to try to explain yourself. You already dealing with some things right now currently going on in your life, and now you got to put that on hold so you can try to clean up a mess that you didn't even start. You didn't even start the thing. But people want to go ahead and conclude your story. They want to go ahead and be the beginning and the middle and the end of your story when they have no clue as to what you done, how you got started, where you are right now in your life. And that's just sad. And we see that all over. We see it on social media. We see it everywhere, right? How many of you have experienced something like that? Have you dealt with someone like that personally in your life, where people just take your story, your situation that that happened some years ago, but yet they're going to conclude? Because here's the thing: you find out from another source, and they said, "Oh, girl, I thought you had 6 kids, or I thought you lost your job, and this or whatever." And you like, no. I only have 2 kids. Where you get 6 kids from? Or, and you gotta try. It's like, oh well, somebody told me, or so and so said, and You know what I mean? And it's just crazy. So don't ever let anybody in your story when they don't even know nothing about what you had to go through. Right? What do you think, Tisha?
I wrote down that there's always going to be people in your life who jump to conclusions about you.
Yes.
Like before they hear the beginning of why you did something or why you behaved a certain kind of way, they just automatically jump to conclusions. And I honestly have to say that when you have people who are like that, I forgot what term we used to call them.
Mm-hmm.
They there's no reason in trying to convince them. How many of you typing me in the comments if you're sick and tired of convincing people? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? When
Yeah.
there's so many people out there who are going to hear what you have to say,
Yeah.
right? See your growth, see your excellence, see your elevation, see your beauty, and you don't
Mm-hmm.
have to go so in depth in explaining why
Right.
you're moving the way you're moving or operating the way you're operating because they know the foundation of who you
Yes.
are, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's just, and like you said a good point to that sometimes it's family that hits the hardest because the devil will always try to get to the person that's closest to you. If it was somebody out there on the street, you don't know them from Adam or Eve, it wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. But it's because you have somebody that's so closely attached to you that sometimes what they say means so much, but you gotta understand who's really at work in this situation. So
Mm-hmm.
if you get those people that just jump to conclusions, no matter what you say, no matter
Yeah.
what receipts you have to show them, right?
Yeah.
Or proof of your experiences, they
Yeah.
still want to think how they want to think and still want to read you of how you want to read you and assume whatever they want to assume without even getting to know you or getting to know why.
Right.
You
Right.
know, because I always look at why people act the way they act. Because sometimes you do have to give people the benefit of the doubt. If they
Mm-hmm.
grew up a certain kind
Yeah.
of way and they grew up in a situation where that's just how the environment was, then I
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, I'm gonna give this person the benefit of the doubt, but here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make sure I build this little wall until
Mm-hmm.
that person gets their stuff together.
Right.
Okay. And sometimes you gotta
Right.
do that with your husband, sometimes you gotta do that with your mom, and your what? Just to protect your heart,
Mm-hmm.
while
Mm-hmm.
they figure out and you pray for them in all the things.
Yeah.
And we also ourselves as women have to make sure that we're not jumping to conclusions or we're not, misreading people in a certain kind of way, that we're asking questions and getting deeper into wanting to know more about women and individuals because we live in a crazy world now. Like
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know
We do.
where it shifted or whatnot, but at the end of the day, we got to really always be mindful of our
Mm-hmm.
feelings, of our emotions, and all those things. So I love this point. Yeah.
Yeah. And and think about it too, ladies. I know maybe some of you are avid readers. You like to read books and stuff like that. And there's so many different shapes and sizes of books. And I mean, as far as the content, you have books that may have 80 pages, some may have 150, and there's some that may have 200, and there's some that even have more, like 600 plus pages. And that could be very intimidating for people to read, and even those who are avid readers, but they would still go ahead and take that book and challenge themselves to read that book as much as they can. But there's sometimes, in each book, for the majority of books, there's always an introduction. There's always an introduction page. Now, the question is, do you read the introduction page before you get to chapter one, or do you overlook the introduction and just go directly to chapter one, right? Because the introduction is giving you the intro, is giving you a preview of what the book is about, or the content of that book is about. So, think about that in that perspective. It's the same thing with people. You see the person there, and you know a little bit about them, but they are here to introduce themselves to you, and you like, okay, oh, it's good to know, but let's get to the point. That's just like a reporter. A reporter, they want to get to the nitty gritty. you know they want to know this, that, da 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 da. And you trying to give them the introduction as to how this all started, or why you proposed this, or whatever. And they really don't want to hear that. They just want to get to the hardcore of the matter, or what have you. So that's how, this is what I'm talking about. People will go ahead, and if you don't give them what they want, if the story is not what they thought, then they're going to go ahead and fabricate. They're going to go ahead and add, add their own story to it. You know what I'm saying? And that's when it becomes a problem. That's when it's become a problem. So you cannot do that, to people, and I don't know if that has happened to you personally or to anyone that is watching us tonight. Like I said, let us know. But it is happening. Unfortunately, it's happening to family members, and it's even happened to people in life in general, in the business world as well. You know, so yeah, we just keep that in mind. Let's go to number 3.3, guys. So the point 3 is, my life story may be complicated, but I'm happy and I'm content with it. Okay, my life story may be complicated. Yeah, I'm struggling. Yeah, I'm dealing with some stuff. Yeah, I'm on the verge of divorce. Or yeah, my child is out there in them streets or whatever. Yeah, my life was like that when we were 16 or when we were 12 years old. But you know what? That's not me. I'm a different person, but I'm happy. I'm content. I had to go through some things. I had to lose some things, but through that course of time, I had to learn how to be happy in the midst of the mess. I had to learn how to be content with the issues, what people going, because I can't control other people, but I can control me. I can determine how I want my day to be. So yeah, my story is complicated. My story is crazy. Yeah, I was raised in a one family housing, or in the hood, or whatever the case may be. The apple don't fall far from the tree, as they say. Yeah, my son is in prison or whatever, blah 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 blah. But I'm still doing what I got to do. This is not chapter 1. This is chapter 25 or chapter 45 of my life. You see what I'm saying? Because each chapter is a whole different story about my
Right.
life. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? And we got to learn how to be content with what is going. I'm not saying that you totally ignore it, but you have at some point got to just say, okay, God, I release all of that to you so I
Uh-huh.
can be content in this moment, and I can
Yeah,
be happy in this day,
that's right.
because there's nothing more I can do about this complication that's going on, this craziness that's going on in my
Right.
life. I can't allow that, because I've come too far.
Right. Right.
I've come too far, and I'm not going to allow that the insanity of other people's behavior to pull me back
Right.
into that time frame, into that moment, and have me get in that dark space. I'm not going to do that.
Very
That
true.
was chapter 35.
Yeah.
I'm in chapter 55 of my life right
Amen. That's right.
now. Okay. What you say, Tish?
You
What do
know,
you say?
I was just listening to somebody's live a couple of days ago, and they were talking about how someone reached out to them and told them that, girl, you always talk about, what you went through and how you're so successful today. You need to stop talking about it. And she was like, no, I'm never going to stop sharing my story.
Hmm.
When we die and people write our obituary, they're just filling in what they've assumed that your life journey was. And
Exactly.
every time, I'm pretty sure every obituary probably missed out on 90% of
Yes.
who you truly were and all the things
Oh,
that you truly
yes.
accomplished. So another side of this is, and I feel this right now, that sometimes we as women don't want to share our story, especially in business, because we
Hmm.
don't want people to see the times when we fell, the times when we wasn't successful, and where we came from, and all the times we started things and didn't finish it. But I
Hmm.
have to say this, y'all, in the business world, you connect with your audience better when you're the most transparent. You connect with your audience better when you are so genuine enough to say, well, this is what I'm going through now, or this is where I have been in the past, or this is where it all got started for me. This was my epiphany moment when I realized I needed to start a business. Those connect so much better when you're speaking on stages, when you
Hmm.
are on social media posting your content or what have you. It just works so much better because you don't want people to just assume that you just popped up out of nowhere
Yeah.
and you
Right.
just became
Right.
successful. If
Right.
your story is complicated, share it. Be
Yeah.
happy because that's part of your testimony. And
Hmm.
sometimes we think that we don't have a deep enough story or a more much traumatic enough story or whatever to share it.
Hmm.
But you don't know that. You
Right.
don't know that. Even if you
Yeah.
came from humble beginnings, y'all, that's something to be praised. That's something to share you
Hmm.
know And I think, if we just sort of put ourselves aside and really look and really think about the people that we're helping through
Yeah.
our story, we're going
Hmm.
to get better results.
Absolutely.
When we share that, hey, I am frustrated right now, or
Yeah.
I was frustrated in the past about this, and you share who you are, I think that's a great thing.
Hmm.
I think we're out of this world, out of this whole phase of people just posting the glitz and the glam and all these awesome things. People are starting to really see that all of that content is filtered, that it ain't
Hmm.
real, that people are just doing it for the gram, as they say. I don't know. Just be
Right.
real and be who you are and be transparent and see how many people God will attach you to and that will lift you up at the same
Right.
time. It's really fascinating. But
Hmm.
again, don't be fearful about your story, y'all. You went
Right.
through that for a reason and for a season, and it's
Hmm.
worth being shared and being thankful for.
And I'm glad you said that too, because it just dawned on me, it's and yeah, we know that there are people outside of us that get stuck in time, but we do it to ourselves too. We get stuck in our own chapter, right? And that's an issue currently now for some of us. We stay stuck in chapter 23 versus chapter 43, and we're trying to bring that chapter into today's chapter, and you can't do that. There's no way you can, right? Because your mindset, and we had talked about this before, our mindset is so different. Take for instance, for the majority of you who are married, when you got married 20 some years ago or 10 plus years ago, your way of thinking was not, it was different, because you thought when you got married, when you said I do, that your marriage was going to be wedded bliss. It was going to be all, rosy and flowers and sunshine and all of that and rainbows. And yeah, it may started out that way, but then here come life. As they say, life is life in, child. It was life in for real, and you was not prepared for it. You know what I mean? And those challenges that in your marriages, it's gonna shift your mindset. It's gonna shift how you see yourself. It's going to have you to think differently, act differently, respond differently in all kinds of ways. It's going to make you do things that you never thought you was going to do, positive as well as negative. It's going to really going to do something different. So when that season is over, your whole temperament is going to be totally different than when you met your husband, or before you had kids, right? So yeah, your life story is gonna, each story of your life is going to be different. It's going to have a different excitement. It's going to have a different, moment in your life or what have you. But no matter how complicated or how crazy or how disturbing or how distracting or whatever it is, you got to choose how you going to be. Are you going to be content with your life where you are right now? You're going to be happy regardless of what happened, regardless of what you lost, regardless of what happened in your marriage. You don't have a marriage anymore. You got to make that decision. You got to make those decisions for yourself, because now, especially if you have kids, now you got to focus on your babies. You got to focus on your children now. You got to have a whole different mindset for your babies now. You know what I'm saying? And me and Leticia, we've been down that road. She's going through it now with her baby, because she still got young babies. My daughters are young adults now, but they still a part of me. And when they hurt, I'm hurting. When they going through, I'm feeling it. But I can't do much now, because now they are adults and they have to start experiencing things for themselves. So yeah, my life is lifing. And I'm being honest, my life is lifing right now. But baby, I have to choose to be happy and content, and also just have faith in God, knowing that He's going to take care of the situation for us, right? He's going to take care of it. Yeah. So let's go to our last point tonight, ladies. Our last point
Absolutely.
for tonight. It is your lack of knowing me will not stop me from enjoying my life. Your lack of knowing me will not stop me from living, will not stop me from reaching my destination or my goals. It's not going to stop me from, being successful. Your lack of knowledge, your lack of whatever, your lack of love, your lack of whatever you got is not going to stop me. Okay, because you got haters out there, just like Tisha said. You got people who are jealous, who are haters, who are spiteful, and they're that nice, nasty kind of people. You know, they put that smile on their face, but they really, but that smile is not sincere. It really isn't, because you don't. The thing is, people they have an opportunity to get to know you, but they choose not to. They choose not to know you. Why? Who knows? Who knows? They have the right to to not get to know you, and they have a right to get to know you. And in the most part, people just take the latter. They just like, well, I don't have time. I don't want to. Because I know she gonna lie anyway. She just trying to say something to save face and all that stuff. And again, you cannot get all caught up in that twist of lies. You can't get that. I know it hurts you. I know it disturbs you, but don't even dare get involved in that narcissistic, bullying, crazy, gaslighting garbage, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to go ahead and respond because they love playing victim. They love doing that. They love playing that victim card. They always got to say, well, I'm this and I did all of that and nobody care and all yada, yada, yada. And you looking at them like, what the hell? But as you get older and you start changing in some areas of your life, it don't even faze you no more. You just let them go ahead and say what they want to say, and you just keep on keeping on, because you realize it's not even you. It's them. It is them. And there's no need to even try to continue to defend yourself. God got you. He's your defense. He got you. He knows who you are, and he will make you great. Okay? And put them persons to shame. What you got to say, Tish?
I want to go back to what you're saying. When you are dealing with people who have their own reality of
Yeah.
situations,
Yeah.
the best thing you can do is just walk away or disengage. It's nothing you're going to say. And trust
Yes.
me, I've been there, done that.
Girl, come on.
You can have all the types of facts, all types of everything. You can even have somebody right next to you who is backing
Yes.
everything you're saying. And still, when you're dealing with people who have their own sense of reality, there's no way in convincing them. Going back to the part of this particular talking point where it says, enjoy your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy has the word joy in it, Joy, right? What does it
Mm-hmm.
mean to be joyful about your life? Is to celebrate who you are,
Mm-hmm.
celebrate where you're at. It's so good when you celebrate the things you have now, because if you ain't happy and celebrating the things you have now, God ain't going to give you more than that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about celebrating that you're living, that you're walking, breathing, you're looking. There's people walking around blind, people walking around dead. Not to say they ain't blessed either, but I'm saying that there's so many in illness you could be walking around with right now that you don't have, so you are blessed. So a lot of times, again, the people in your life where you're dealing with the manipulation and the trickery and the foolery, it makes you feel sort of like your life ain't that worth living, but it is.
It
Because
is.
again, you can't attach yourself to other people's behaviors. You're only responsible and accountable of your own.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
no, even if people have a lack of knowing who you are, you get to know yourself better.
Right.
You
Right.
get to celebrate yourself more. Do things every day that allows you to make yourself happy. If it's you being a better mom, then be a better mom, because that's the only thing that you can control. If it's you being a better person, then you more healthier person, then become a healthier person.
Right. Right.
But if you're dealing with partners or situations where they're not really seeing the light in you, or they're really dealing with certain issues themselves and they're putting it on you, can't
Mm-hmm.
do nothing about that. But just disengage and protect your heart, protect your space. You
That
know,
is so
stop
good,
letting
girl.
letting other people bother you so much or
Yeah.
get to you so much, because
Yeah,
that's what they
Lord.
want to do. They're gonna bait and switch you every time. When
Mm,
people know that they can get on your nerves and get you to react, they're gonna keep doing it over and over again. They're not gonna stop. They're not gonna stop. That could
Mm-hmm.
be the lie of their day, getting you upset. They're sleeping good at night. You're like, trust me, I've been there.
Yeah, Lord.
Okay, but when we take ownership and say, you know what, I'm just going to be joyful today. I'm going to be happy that I'm here, that I'm living, that my kids are healthy, that I have a roof over my head, I have food in my refrigerator. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
start to see what
Mm-hmm.
other things God is going to add on to you,
Mm-hmm.
other
Mm-hmm.
blessings He's going to give you. Because really, He wants us
Right.
to do what? Seek Him. Sometimes we seeking our husbands more than we seeking God. Sometimes
Yep.
we're seeking our boyfriends a confirmation more than we see God. Even our children more than we see God. No,
Yeah.
we got to seek Him.
That's
Because at the end
it.
of the day, and I said this on my live the other day, when we're out there talking about all these people that have all these weapons against us, God is saying,
Mm-hmm.
that's still my
Mm-hmm.
child.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
still got to, just pray for him, move on, let me work on him. You can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be
Mm-hmm.
that type of, or let me call him back and say, like my words just gonna captivate and change and shift, and he's just gonna be, oh yeah. It never happened,
Never
and it
happened.
won't ever happen because I can't change. I didn't make him. I didn't bring him to this world. I can't take him out.
Mm-mm.
So
Mm-mm.
really, y'all, sometimes it's funny and all, but we really gotta really say, you know what, God, you are amazing. You are absolute. I
Yeah.
gotta get myself in check. I gotta
Yeah.
seek you more than I seek him or they or see. Sometimes we're trying to seek popularity on social media. We're running a business. We want everybody to like us. We want to change and act different and try to keep up with the Joneses online and not realizing that this online space, people can make a facade like
Yeah.
it's nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be careful of that because that can affect you in a massive way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So don't let anybody stop you from enjoying life.
Yeah.
Don't let, I mean, when we look at the way the world is, you have certain countries. My daughter and I was looking at Korea, North Korea, or whatever, and you can't
Hmm.
even leave there. You can't even get in there. It's like these people are going through such oppression,
Yeah.
and we live in this country. Yes, it's not, they ain't perfect. No country's perfect,
Yeah.
no, but we're better off than most places. But sometimes we think
Right.
we live in this box sometimes, and we don't really just get out and just smell the air.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know, and get you a friend or a sister friend or somebody, y'all, that you could call that you trust,
Right.
that you
Right.
could share your heart's desires to, and you can vent with and things like that, and they can motivate you to get off your feet, get back on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong having that friend, besides God, of course, because that's whom you're supposed to, of course, spew all your burdens to him. But God do blesses us with a physical friend that we can go to and connect, because that person can relate. That person can definitely keep you encouraged. They could pray for you and all those things at the same time. And it's a blessing to have that person in your life, because you can't just be fighting this thing by yourself. There's just no way you can. It's not going to help you at all. It's just going to get you sick. It's going to get you emotionally sick, mentally sick, physically sick, all of that. And trust me, the insurance today is very, very costly, because there's so many people who are going get prescription pills and stuff like that to try to keep themselves sane and all of that, because dealing with the stress of the world, the people, and all of that. It's just crazy what's going on. Like you said, this is so much going on in this crazy world, man. It really, really is, right? But of course, in your world, there's a lot going on, and that's why I just say, don't worry about anybody else. Focus on you, because you got a lot going on in your life. We all got something going on with ourselves, and we need to focus on ourselves more than focusing on the problem or the people with the problem, or all of that, right? Karen says, this has been so good. My life story is a collaboration between me and God. We do
that's
not
right.
need a ghostwriter. I love
I
that.
love that because when again, let's be honest, when you focus on the problem grows. It just grows. It just
Yes.
always stay prevalent, in your mind. But when you focus on God, and for some of us, it's hard to get off a negative topic. So sometimes you got to say, God, I give this to you. God, I surrender this to you. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? We do not
Mm-hmm.
need a ghostwriter. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. That is so cool. I love what you
Hmm.
said on that. And sometimes we do have a ghost writer. We got people who are saying some malicious things about us, and we're like, "Where's this coming
Where's this
from?"
coming
And
from?
people be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I don't know, girl. I heard it from sister so and so. I heard it from uncle. I heard it from cousin." Like,
And it could
okay,
just
nobody
be a
ever.
genuine projection. Like they're just projecting
Yes.
their issues and their funk on you. You
Yeah.
know? That's
Yeah.
just what it is. And sometimes it
That's what
attaches
it
to
is.
us so much that we just like, how can I get this off of me? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So listen, y'all, this is our last point. So we have covered all our points for tonight's topic. I hope
Yeah.
this was a blessing for you ladies. I hope this came right on time for you all. Again, for those of you who are watching us, watching our replay, again, please feel free to comment and share any personal experience of what you have encountered based on what we had to discuss tonight with the points. So we're going to move on. We have our What's News tonight. We
What's
only have one.
new?
We only have one What's News, and this segment is where we share with you some articles or videos of people who are doing amazing things in their community, in their careers, in their life as a whole. And it's just great to see from a bigger perspective as to what is going on outside of our world, if that makes sense. So we do have one particular thing to share with you tonight. Therese, you could go ahead and pop that up there for us so we can see it. This is an 8-year-old who speaks 8 languages and plays
Eight
eight.
languages. Eight?
Yeah, girl, and she plays 8 instruments. Okay. Yes, honey. Yes, honey.
Congratulations. You know how much focus you have to learn eight
Girl,
languages?
girl.
Wow.
She is from
Congratulations to her.
Queens, New York. She's a homie. She's from Queens, New York. Her name is
Queen.
Mabu Lus Lusu Luseo or something like
Oh,
that.
I gotta show this to my kids. I definitely do.
Yeah, she is from Queens. She 8 years old. Well, was just 8 years old in 2015. So this is a little older article, I guess. But so that makes her what, eight? Wait, 5 or 15. How old is she now? Then 15.
How old she now? How old the baby now?
She might what? How old is she now? She gotta be a teenager now.
Okay. Well, she's still young
Yeah.
though. She's still young.
Yeah, she's still young. Was just 8. Oh, I'm sorry. Was just 8 years old. Yeah, I'm right. In 2015. But she was already fluent in 8 languages, including English, American Sign
Wow.
Language. That's awesome. Haitian Creole, Spanish, French, and Mandarin. So, and she was studying Japanese.
Mandarin. Is that Chinese?
Nah, not really. It's kind of close, but it's not. I actually, she was studying Japanese as well.
Oh, that's hard to learn.
Um,
Girl.
her mother first heard her pronounce a few French words when she was just 2 years old, despite the fact that she didn't even know how to speak the language. Her mother
Hmm.
realized right away that her daughter was born with a talent, so she began teaching her several languages and even hired nannies who spoke various languages. But she had
Wow.
also other skills besides mastering languages. She mastered a wide range of instruments by the age of 8, including piano, violin, clarinet, flute, drums, guitar,
You
and the
go, girl.
In addition, she started teaching. She started teaching piano. Come on now, and she was also learning college algebra, which was understood completely. She turned
Wow.
13 in 2020, so now she's 16 now in
She's 16. Yeah,
2022.
you're right. She's a teenager.
Yeah, and added singing, dancing, and painting to her list of abilities.
You go,
She's
girl.
already gaining fans on YouTube. So she has a YouTube channel, y'all, because of her incredible singing and dancing talents. She claims that her career goals include being a lawyer, a brain surgeon, and a singer. You go ahead in this thing, okay? So this is a beautiful story of this gorgeous young lady. This is just phenomenal. Anything is possible with these babies.
Amen.
If you have an 8-year-old daughter, niece, cousin or something, listen, share this with them. Keep them encouraged. School has started for the majority of people, and a lot of kids are dealing with so much in their personal life.
Yes, they
Just
are.
because they're in school, it don't mean that everything is all pretty and rosy for these babies.
No, it's not.
Excuse me, they are dealing with a lot. So this here is very inspiring and very encouraging. And also, if you are a teacher by chance, or if you know someone who's a teacher, share this to them so they can also share this in their classroom.
Yeah.
So the kids can see, someone in their generation
Yep.
that is doing great things. Okay, now
I
she's 16
agree.
now, so this is definitely for high school kids, but this is also great for even for middle school. She started when she was 8 years old. Now she's 16, and this girl has
Wow.
advanced since then. So if you know anybody who's a teacher, teacher's aide, a counselor, or whatever, this would be a great tool to share to those teachers in the classroom, and to really get these kids really hyped and excited about pursuing in their craft or their skills or what have you. What do you think, Tish?
I think it's good because children, I mean, arguably so, they do, in a sense, follow the crowd. You know what I mean? You're going to
They
follow the bad
do.
crowd or they're going to follow the good crowd. Obviously, as parents, we always want them to follow the good crowd, but when they have a majority,
Oh,
am I, can y'all see me?
you yep, yep.
Okay, sorry about that. If that's
Mhm.
all they see is the bad crowd, then they're going to gravitate to that, right? So again, like Twonta said, this is amazing.
Yeah,
This is
it's really,
inspiring for other children
and
to
she's a
to
very
learn
pretty
about.
young lady.
In
Beautiful,
this
and
day
she,
and age, our kids got to learn multiple languages. I mean, you just look at jobs now; they want you to be
ooh,
bilingual. They want you to know Spanish, French, all
yeah,
the main things. And also, if you're going to have children who want to travel, it is good for them to know the
yeah,
language. You know what I mean? Or at least know at least a little bit of it. You know what I mean? Know how to write it too. So I
yeah.
think that's awesome. Yeah, that's definitely a essential thing now. Yeah.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, my oldest daughter's one of her best friends, they known each other since they were in grade school, Bethany. She just came back from Spain. She
Oh,
just graduated from University of Hawaii. So she's done with college there, but she is pursuing, international affairs. So she's already embarking in learning different languages because of her
that's
field.
good.
So she's speaking Spanish, she's learning all these other different cultures as well. So that's definitely going to take her in so many different areas,
Good.
in life. So definitely encourage, our kids about learning different languages, because it's a game changer. And
It is.
they are really, and especially I won't say political, but in the government or in that arena, they are definitely looking for people who are lingual. Is that the word? Am I
Yeah,
right?
and you and bilingual, and you get ranked higher
Bilingual.
for
Yes.
certain positions, like over somebody
Yes.
who you can have one person that may have a master's or a doctorate, another person with a bachelor's, but that person knows three different languages and they can communicate with other clients and connect with more people. They're going to go with the probably the person that has multiple languages. So I'm really excited and proud of this young lady that she stayed
Yeah.
to it and stayed focused because that's not common for 8-year-olds to speak 8 languages, honey. We try to get them to read, honey. My 9-year-old is like, oh my God, Warren, sure get me
Okay.
read. It's like
Come
pulling teeth.
on.
I got a freaking, I ain't gonna say what I do,
Yeah.
but I
And
get
it's
them to
about
read
that
a book.
attention span too. That attention span.
Yes,
Because a lot of
yes.
teenagers that age, their patients are shot.
Their attention span is unless it's something they are the games or something, then yeah,
Yes.
right.
But you
Anything
can
else,
tell
no.
that I believe her parents or her mom, I don't know if she had both her parents or just her mom, but I believe, she started when she was really, really young,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know. So by the time she got a little older, this was already embedded in her soul to just keep
right,
on practicing and studying and all these things. So it's like second nature to her at this point right now,
right. Yeah,
whereas
1000% I agree, and I think definitely for us parents to not give up on influencing our kids too. want to learn outside of the English language as well. I mean, even here in New York, we've gotten like over 100,000 migrants up here. So a
Mm,
lot of places we're seeing more and more of them, if they don't know
yeah,
the language, the English language, you know. So
yeah.
yeah, it's a lot going on up here.
It is. So this is our what's news, guys. I think this is all we have to share for you tonight. So before we go, we do want to mention to you that we do have our self-care event that is coming up next month. It's coming September, guys. September is coming. That's my birthday month, y'all. So I'm gonna be celebrating.
Yeah, girl, she's turning 27, so we gonna live it up, honey. We're gonna do the damn thing, honey.
Yeah, go. We're gonna be okay. So yes, September is the
Oh,
month, baby. Well, we are going to
I just made
introduce.
myself dizzy doing that. I swear. I just-
They do a woosah.
I'm getting
Woo,
old, girl. Ooh.
woosah,
Like if I
girl.
stand up right now, I'll probably fall.
Don't you hate that
Yeah,
when you
don't
like,
mind me.
like you get up real quick and you feel kind of dizzy? Like, wait, whoa, let me
I'm
sit
like,
back
let me
down.
catch myself. Hold on.
Yeah, girl, that is like, oh, I need to sit down a little bit
Ooh.
because you like your blood
I just
didn't
caught a
reach
sweat.
into your head fast enough or something. It's just weird how that happens.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, guys, September 30th is the night that we're going to have our self-care event, and it's a free event to you ladies. It's at 7:30 p.m. And you see the registration information is there for you to click on and to go ahead and register. Also, ladies, make sure you extend this invitation to some of your beautiful sisters out there. Is available to anybody that wants to start taking care of themselves, take care of their
Yes.
not just their physical being, but their mental state. Their mental state. That's what we're going to be focusing on. Our theme is falling in love with you. That is the theme for September, and we are super duper excited about this event. We haven't done our self-care event for a minute, so this is just absolutely something that I highly recommend. Ladies, do not fall asleep on it. Do not
Falling
ignore it.
down.
Just come on and register, okay? And I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed, but it's going to be fun. Anything you want to add to that, Mama?
You know, I love this whole topic of falling in love with you. We could all do better with falling back in love with ourselves. So join us because you know this is going to be a great opportunity. It's open to everybody. So just go to sister-to-sister-connection.com and register. Get around other like-minded women. We're going to try to, we're working on the panel and things like that. But me and Twonta is definitely going to be showing up and showing out for you ladies during this event. So please register, y'all. Please register, okay? Register as
Yes.
soon as possible because there's only a certain number of people. Sorry about that. There's only a certain number of people we can have in on the virtual thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you might want to make sure you register so you have a seat in. Okay.
Yeah. So Karen, if you here, go ahead and register if you haven't already.
Karen,
If you
Tamika.
here, okay. We know you here, honey.
We
Hello.
see y'all there. I know y'all cooking dinner or eating dinner or whatever.
Come on, honey. It's
Or
a
whatever.
registration, okay? Nobody gonna dip in your purse, okay? Ain't nobody
Yeah,
gonna
and
dip.
another thing, y'all, you don't have to be all dressed up. If y'all want to hop on and have your camera
Yeah.
off, that's okay. It's no big deal. We're not like gonna pressure anybody to be all presentable. But come, it's a virtual event. It's a private virtual event. It's free. So come on and join us.
Yeah. But other than that, ladies, we're good. We're done, and we will be back next week with some more wonderful content. And
Yes.
definitely make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and definitely press that like button for us, and share it out to your friends. Okay. My girl, do you have anything else to say before we go?
That's all. We're gonna hop off on a great note, and y'all have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your week, and remember, love on y'all sister. Bye, guys.